Originally I started with t-shirts and just tried to make like the most badass t-shirt designs I could make, but like still hand painting them. And then I just, over the time, have just increased the scale as much as possible. So I have them to like build frames and stuff now because I make stuff that's way too big to find a secondhand frame for. Thanks.
Do you mind if I take a picture?
Go for it, yeah, totally. I'm a fabric paint artist, local to Westminster, Maryland.
Awesome. So how would you say your journey as an artist really got its start?
So originally I was really inspired by t-shirt design, so I would just get a t-shirt, have an idea for the most exciting design that I could put on it, and then try to take it from the concept to the actual completed work of art. I've since shifted away from t-shirt design to more like regular art that you would hang on the wall or like a framed piece rather than a t-shirt. Eventually I thought it like I had evolved out of that space, you know, onto a more impressive like final composition rather than like a t-shirt.
And have you been working, was your process pretty much the same when you were with the t-shirts? So now you're using like Sharpie and the Puffy paint, right?
So the technique has definitely shifted a lot since I started. First I would just go straight with the paint and freehand the t-shirts, but then I shifted to stenciling so that I can get the proportions of something correct. I draw a lot of like faces and like animals to the point where the proportions have to be correct for it to look realistic as a final piece, especially when it's such a big piece of fabric. Like it's easy if you were freehanding it to like mess up some of the proportions and then it wouldn't like finish off as well. But so stenciling was a big thing in the development of the technique. Then I realized to put white paint underneath of any color that I was going to use. So now my process is to bring it to a white and black painting and then go from there, add any colors that you're going to use, because the white paint underneath really makes the paint like pop and the colors like so much more vibrant, because I work a lot with like really vibrant fluorescent colors and just really bright palettes, so that white paint underneath really helps it out.
So whenever you've changed directions artistically, what's really driven that for you?
A lot of it is just an inspiration from something I'll see in life when I notice beauty in something. A lot of it is my aim almost as an artist is to just capture beauty and aesthetics. As it doesn't have like a message really or anything. I'm just trying to make a beautiful image to look at. But so I've gone through different phases, and a lot of my education, like college, I was studying biology. So then I'm really inspired by like different specimens of biology. I draw a lot of like animals that have a really interesting like layout and stuff like that. And then now I've really shifted to like drawing mostly human faces, because I feel like the human face has so much emotion. Like really, if you're gonna capture an emotion, that is like the best way that I've found. The most emotional image for sure.
So do you think you're more portraying something that you picked up in the things that inspired you, or the emotion that you're portraying, is it what you're feeling?
It is. I would have a feeling, and then I would like, or it's actually, sometimes I would have the feeling and then think of an image that would portray the feeling. Sometimes I would just see an image and then feel a certain way, and if it's like really powerful, I'll be inspired to like use that image. So it could go either from the emotion to the image or from the image to the emotion type of deal.
Okay. Have the things that really inspire you, the beautiful things that you find inspiration in, have those shifted over the years for you a lot?
Definitely. It has taken a lot of different avenues. Like, for example, nowadays, I'm really inspired by tribalism. So whenever I've done a lot of paintings of different tribal people. And I've also shifted to multiple pieces of the same layout, same like similar concept, so that two pieces would match in like a gallery or something. You could hang them on like opposite walls. So like, for example, this painting is going to be hanging next to, this is a Maasai woman from the Maasai tribe in Africa, and it's going to be hanging next to a picture of an Inuit woman with a similar layout. Like, she's going to be on this side, and then there'll be like an Inuit woman right here, to the point where they're both like smiling at one another. So it shows the two photos that were similar. So that's another recent avenue that it's taken. But over the time that I've been an artist, I'll get inspired by something, make 3 or 4 pieces of the same general like inspiration, and then have a subsequent inspiration, and then it'll change like the direction.
Okay. Well, what drew you towards the tribalism mainly, would you say?
Really just seeing a photograph of this this lady who lives in this tribal culture in Nepal, but it's a photograph where this photographer went to Nepal and like hiked in the mountains, and then like the Himalayan mountains where these people live, and then he was just capturing like images of their tribal culture, and he got this one of this woman like looking back on this path where they're hiking, and she has all kinds of stuff that she's carrying, like a basket, and she has a towel on her head, and just and she's looking back to make sure that her daughter is following her on the path. But I saw this photo and that really inspired me, so then I started thinking about other like tribal things like that.
Okay. What are the bigger challenges that you've encountered throughout your time as an artist?
So some of the challenges are, actually I try to like remove as many challenges as I can from it. At first, with the development of the technique, like certain times when you use the paint and you don't like have a good technique, things will look like really sloppy. Like, I'll go back and look at things when I first started, and I'll be like, well, that looks so sloppy, because I've refined the technique to the point where it's like as like not messy as it can be, and like as finished looking. But also, like, doing it on fabric, you have to frame it in order for it to be a finished composition, basically. So like that is one challenge I had, definitely, was learning how to make the frames. Like, I have never done anything with like woodworking, anything like that, so I started trying to make these frames, and it was definitely a challenge. Using the saw and everything, it was all new to me. But I definitely realized that you have to frame it to, if it's ever going to be exhibited, that's the best way to finish it off.
Yeah. Well, you got a little bit of an exhibition of your own with living right on Main Street here in town, and I mean, so how did that come about, and how's it been?
So yeah, I realized I didn't even think about that when I moved into this place. You know, I just thought it was convenient to be around everybody, but it is a good exhibition. Like there's a good amount of foot traffic and stuff, so I just take my artwork outside and get the general passerby to look at it, which is kind of cool. Um, and it's cool because I've actually met people that have seen my artwork, and then it's led to further things. Like I met this one guy who's with the Carroll Arts Center down the street, and I'm looking into getting like an exhibition there because I met this guy.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time.
Hell yeah, it's been a pleasure, man.
Yeah, nice tattoo, man.
Oh yeah, it's
Mr. Bo.
oh hell yeah.